women and
Oh
stuff.
yeah. You ready for the question? The question was, why do women misinterpret what men are saying?
Well, mm,
Oh, juicy. Let's see.
so when you say misinterpret, can you quantify that?
Yeah, of course. So typically you might say something to a woman and let's say give them the example, hey, baby, fix me something to eat. And she's offended by that. Or another example, hey, I don't want you to go out to the club with your friends with that outfit on. And she might think that you're controlling. How do you combat that? Because I was given a brief rundown on how do I combat those type of situations. How do you combat that when you're in a relationship?
So normally when I'm in a relationship, there's an understanding as far as I'm concerned of trust. Like I don't pick up my woman's phone and go through it on the regular.
Hmm.
If her phone rings and she's on it, I'm not like this. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Breathing down her neck. So I don't really tend to really run into that too much. I know that if I'm in a relationship, I know that there's just gonna be times you're gonna pass somebody that looks much better than your woman. It's just gonna happen, especially in Dallas. So what you do is respectfully, if you know that person, speak right away. Don't be, try to be, hey, what's going on? Before she gets close, hey, what's going on? I ain't seen you in a while, whatever, whatnot. Speak right away. If you don't know her,
Okay.
but she's bad, keep your eyes front, or just talk to your lady. You know
So
what I'm saying?
you avert your
Right.
gaze.
Yeah, ask her if she's ready to eat, or what I'm saying, play it
That's
off
where I
like
should
that
go
doesn't
with
even, because she's looking. She's
it.
looking.
Okay.
Trust me. She's looking. She wants to see a response every time. It never gets
Hmm.
old for them. Every time, if you put, because that's how they measure things. So that's why I said quantify, because misinterpret.
So do you set boundaries? Like, are there any boundaries, or certain boundaries that should be understood that the woman that you're with should not cross? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, look. Long story short, I used to be a mess. So
Mm.
I've been on both sides of it. I was a mess.
Yeah.
I definitely had a rough childhood, and so I came out of that, got big, got swole. I started giving to females real rough. I was abusive to women, verbally,
Hmm.
physically, and all that stuff like that. I believe that was the way. If they crossed my line or whatever, whatnot, and I didn't know anything about healthy boundaries, none. Um,
Mm. I
because
understand.
this is for you people that are watching and listening. The key to healthy boundaries is when you set your own, you automatically respect other people's, you know, right to have healthy
Boundaries.
their own. So
Hmm.
because as soon as you set yours, then you have to respect theirs. So I can think and say what I want to think and say in my relationships now, and I know
Hmm.
it's a boundary there. And so she can do the same thing. If a female calls me a bitch, I'll be like, ah, okay, you got that one off, but she gonna get silently blocked after that visit. You know what I'm saying? To be honest,
Yeah.
she gonna get ghosted. Because I don't. Why would I do it something like that? I got my stuff together. But on the same token, uh, if I feel like she's giving me her all, then I'm
Hmm.
I'm all in. That's how you keep me. Is you don't play games, none of that stuff. You just
Okay.
yourself and give me your all. So I think the understanding off the rip is: are we playing games or not? Do you and your wife play games with each other? Still, I mean, at this point, y'all gotten past that? Because I know initially there was some game playing going on.
Well, me and my wife. So, in marriage, I have peace. That's what I'm going to talk about. As far as in before I got married, how I operated. In marriage, I have peace. We worked out a lot of the kinks before we got married. As far as in, I do believe in gender roles. I do believe in, of course, I'm Christian based. So me and you talked about how I operate my household. As far as in, what I bring to the table, my wife bring to the table. We have two different perspectives on what we bring to the table, basically. So I'm like when you were speaking before in regards to you trust your girl, you trust your woman, she do what she can and stuff of that nature. And when you give away, when you establish boundaries, you have to respect their boundaries. And I want to speak towards that because I do have my own boundaries and requirements that I needed to be happy in a marriage. my wife also had requirements that she needed to be happy in a marriage. You know what I mean? So first thing first, I need to see what did she need to be happy in a marriage. That's why I had to speak to her. So I had to speak to her to see what she needed to be happy with a marriage. She gave me a lot of things that she, had to be happy in a marriage. And what I listened for is how much time that she needed with me and how much money. Because time makes a difference. Women need their time to be able to talk to you, speak to you, be around you. They just need time with you. Time spent makes a difference. And money means is it's that threshold to see if you're capable of taking care of them in the way they need to be taken care of. And with those two things, time and money, what that builds is respect. So for me, respect was a big thing because if a woman respects you, she won't look another man's way, as long as she respects you as a man.
I think that what most people who watch any show that we're involved in, we're we're
Hmm.
we're kind of in an interview situation right now. I think anybody wants to know how long have you been married?
It's going on a year and a half. I'll be married 2 years in July,
How long did you guys
June.
how long did you guys date before you got married?
Um, we dated on and off for roughly about 3 years. 3 years
Okay,
before we
and
got married.
I heard you say y'all worked out the kinks in your relationship before you got married.
Oh yeah, because it's a couple of things. And that's what I'm going to talk about in my YouTube video. It was things for me, that I wasn't prepared as a man, and for my wife, there was stuff that she needed to work on as well. Like this, the things that I require for my wife to have, for me to be able to marry a woman. I didn't have enough value yet to kind of dictate that. But me, I was just okay with being single and doing my thing because I had enough value to get an abundance of sex. And that's just what it is. I had enough value to get abundance of sex. So I didn't, no one had, no, none of the women that I had previously gave me a reason to really want to get married because they didn't give me enough value for me to feel as if that I was ready to marry them. And
But
with my,
but
yeah,
but y'all still in the honeymoon phase though, pretty much. Would you say that you're still kind of, you're in between, you're in that 1 to 3 year period where you still kind of have that little honeymoon thing going on. You know what I'm saying?
um,
But
I want to be
but,
honest. I don't, when you say the honeymoon phase, to me, my honeymoon phase really, our honeymoon phase came before I proposed because we had hardship right after I proposed. 'Cause we had coronavirus, I had to deal with parents. We had a lot of stuff that we went through a lot of adversity through our engagement and through the process of trying to get married. We went through a lot of adversity. So we didn't really have a honeymoon phase. We had to straight get to work. And it's just we have to operate like a machine. Luckily, we worked out a lot of things before we got married, so we can't operate that way. An example. So one of the requirements that my wife had was that I had to pay the rent, pay the bills, and take out the trash, do majority of the masculine things. That was a requirement. And one of the things that I required as a husband was woman to be feminine, submissive, loyal, and cooperative. That was one of my requirements. So when we were able to build our value up enough to meet those requirements. That's when we took the step of actually getting married. Now, when we got
man,
married, it made everything easier.
you
That's what
know,
made
you
everything
know
easier. Even
that
like right
you
now,
brought up you you brought up the conversation about singleness and the sex, right? You brought that up, right? So inquiry
the
minds want to know. Yeah, so inquiry minds want to know. I say you're in the honeymoon phase because sex might still be a hot topic for you. You think that y'all going to be able to sustain a healthy sexual life into your third, fourth, fifth year?
so let me be transparent. Sex is not a hot topic for us. My priority is making money. I'm not here often. When we have sex, we have sex. It's just what it is. It's like when we have time, we have sex, and I make sure, I break it down. We go on date nights every now and then. We love each other. It's to the point I work so much, she misses me. Like she'll hit me up and say, "Hey, baby, I love you. I miss you. You need to go ahead and come home." Like she misses me. I don't be around her enough for her to be like, gang, can you go do something? Because I make sure I constantly stay busy. And that's what I do.
But
Like I work two jobs, I work out, I constantly stay busy, and we do that's when we have sex. That's just one of those things.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm not attacking that. I'm just saying
No,
that
I'm
like
not. Yeah.
you and I both know that a majority of the reason that a lot of I'll say men, I won't say women, but I'll say a lot of men are like gun shy to do the proposal like you did to get married because they're worried that the sex life is going to decline or not going to get the kind of action in sex like she might be going down and all this stuff before you get married, but after you get married, she
I got a
got you.
response for that. I got
I
a
got
response for
you.
that.
Go ahead. It's that I got you now. I don't have to give you go down on you. I
It's
don't have to
the
please
man,
you. I don't
the man
have
that
to,
going. So currently right now, statistically speaking, there's only 10 to 20% of men out here having sex with majority of the women. That's a statistical fact. It was there was all the dating websites composed a poll at random asking men and women how often are they having sex, stuff like that. It was only 10 to 20% of men actually out here having sex, and 90% of women are out here having sex. So the reason why I'm saying it is typically as a man, the reason why men would say that if they do use that excuse, I'm not saying that I run into men that does have that excuse, but if they do have that excuse, the reason why they say that is because they haven't built up enough value to exercise their options. That's just what it is. Because if you build up enough value to exercise your options, you wouldn't be worried about sex. Because regardless if you're married or not, your wife is going to constantly give you your wife is going to constantly give you sex, or you have the ability to exercise your options. That's just what it is. There is no you going home, we're never having sex ever again or whatever, I'm just not in the mood. It's none of that because they know that they have to consistently add value to your life to keep you. And one of the ways women show commitment to a man is through their fidelity. So them making sure that this pussy is only for you and I'm giving this pussy to you. And even in the Bible, I'm sorry for the P word if the kids watching. And even in the
it's a
Bible,
kid
it
on
tells
my
you that
show.
as a man, you must give yourself to your woman, and as a woman, you must give yourself to your man. There is no recourse for that. So that's how I operate it as well. Because I might have
Hey,
the
I
ability
look,
to, you
we
know,
just it's good to have a married male perspective, man. When you
oh
talk
yeah,
about stuff, uh, I'm gonna be honest, Delonte. Like these chicks be out here like I need a thug. They don't just say it like that. I need a thug. They want a little thug in their guy. Not a lot,
hmm
maybe, but just enough to be hip conscious, to be down with the movement. So you don't come across, and I'm not saying you're not hardcore, but you don't come across as a person that is, as they say, thugging it out. So what would you say for the brothers that need come up, like you said, add some value, or to the brothers that's just way too thugged out, need to come down a little bit and get a little bit cool so they can, like you said, approach a woman with some value? What would you say to them?
Okay, so it's not even about being a thug. Women just want a man that's socially calibrated. You could tell a man how you use your tools to be able to go get a woman. But when you tell them, they go up to them in a completely different way, and they're not socially calibrated. They say the wrong things because they can't read the social cues of women. It has nothing to do with being a thug. They want a masculine man. Just like men want a feminine woman, they want a masculine man. That's why you might hear some women say that they want a man that could put them in their feminine, a man that's overly masculine, they could put them in their feminine. They don't want no weak man. And they said they'd rather deal with a thug because a thug is ultimately masculine because they have to do certain things. So how you build up these qualities is through adversity. Men typically thrive through adversity. Yeah, it builds your character. The stuff that you go through builds your character as a man. That's why to reach the best value, the most valuable of yourself, typically your peak is usually in your late 40s, 50s, because you have to take time to build your value. Women are typically born with their value. Men have to build their value. Women are born with sexual abundance. To be able to get any type of woman, you have to bring some form of value to the table. Period. That's just what it is. So you have to be able to build your
Hey,
value
you
and
a
build up your
smart.
social calibration.
Hey, you a smart dude, Delonte. I had that on my show. You're a mess. Peep this game. Peep this right here. You're married,
Mhm.
but there are a lot of women out here that ask men during the dating phase when the last time they had sex. And I went on my show, You're a Mess, and I said, that's a bad question. It's a poor question. Ladies, don't do it because you're forcing a man to lie. You're probably going to push him away because really it's not none of your business. I told men not to answer the question at all. Just tell them, hey, look, I don't kiss and tell, because under that rule, I have the catch-22 at that point, because really, who wants to be with somebody who's going to tell the next person what they did? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's really a bad question, but women down here swear by it. It's kind of ridiculous to me, but it's happening. So what kind of advice do you have for women?
So you have to be able
Think
to
it's a good idea
dictate
to ask a guy when last time they had sex.
you have to be able to dictate the terms of the relationship and dictate the terms of the date. So I operate a little bit differently when I was in a dating scene. So I'll give you an example. To dictate the terms of the date, women typically like masculine men and a man that pretty much take charge and put you into their program, regardless if they want to or not. Because if they're willing to fit into your program off rip, then you know that they actually like you, or like physicality, everything. You know, they already attracted to you. You know, you already came to them with the masculinity. They like everything about you. I used to give this example, like one of the things that I used to do. Let's say we had a club at a bar, right? I see a girl that's at the bar. You know, she's beautiful. I might go up to her, tell her, you know, might walk up to her, tell her that you're gorgeous or whatever, right? She might, women random, thank you. And I'm like, I might ask her, hey, what is your name? They tell me their name, whatever. Now I see their social cues. That's why you have to be socially calibrated, because you see if there's any gauge of interest. You see them with a little bit of interest. Oh, hey, my name is such and such. Get a little happy, that smile. Then you ask them, hey, what you drinking on? They're gonna tell you what they drinking on. Douce, whatever, tequila, whatever they drinking on, whatever, right? Then I say, hey, let me get a bottle of that. When you get down over here playing around, you come and join me in my booth over there. And I got a bottle of Douce. And I do that in front of them. And then I leave. Now it's time for her to come into my paradigm. So now she has to come over to me while I have to drink it. Then we can have an actual conversation together. Now she's in my program. Now I'm asking her about herself. I'm trying to get to know her. I'm trying to see what she's on, where her mind is at, and see if she fit what I'm looking for that night. Now, at the end of the day, after we leave there, I might go grab something to eat with her or something like that. Whatever. But that's how I'm fitting her into my program. Instead of she constantly, bombarding me with questions, I bring her over there to me, and then I can ask her questions that I need to know. And that's the route that I used to go. Now, me, I'm not gonna lie.
I was talking to somebody, and they said that men, at least down here in the DFW Metroplex, men lead with money, right? That's a statement that they make. And when you said what you said, how you used to do when you were dating, that to me sounds like you were leading with money, because obviously it costs money to get a bottle. In any
let me explain that.
Now,
so, because you said it sounded like I was leading with money, I have to attack that real quick.
Okay.
To me, that's not leading with money, because I was going to buy a bottle regardless. Majority of the time when I go out to the clubs back in the day, I was already planning on buying a bottle. The difference is what bottle I'm going to buy. So everything that I was going to do that day, I was going to do regardless. If she came over or she did not come over, I was still going to have that bottle there, because I was already planning on buying a bottle. That's just how I operate as a man. So it's not me leading with money. It's me doing stuff that I normally do, and she's coming over to join me. Now, me, I don't buy shots. That's not my thing. I don't just give girls money, buying shots and stuff like that. I'm just not that guy. But if I'm drinking and I have a bottle, yeah, you can share my bottle. Just like if I were to take a trip and I'm already going on a trip, I already have the place. If you choose to buy, if you want to come with me, you get your ticket. Yes, you can stay with me. That's how I used to operate back in the day. Yes, you can stay with me, because I was already planning on going in a general, and I'm already planning on getting a penthouse suite or wherever I'm staying at anyway. If you bought your ticket, you could still join me. I was operating like that anyway. So typically I used to always operate like that. I don't really give off. I wasn't the type that constantly gave up my resources, because I expected value back. I used to look at everything as assets and liabilities. Even with my wife in our situation when we were dating, the first 9 months my wife was celibate. She was celibate, and I ended up closing up my wallet and slow down. She used to come over, visit me, we talk and stuff like that. But I didn't feel comfortable going out and stuff of that nature on our dates and stuff like that if I didn't feel like you were added value to my life. And to me, a lot of women don't add value outside of sex before they have sex. That's just what it is. Before they have sex, you're typically paying for all the dates. You're typically taking a woman out. You're typically kicking it with the woman, doing all this, spending your time and resources on the woman. Maybe even buying gifts. Some guys buy gifts and stuff like that. Uh, Gas money. You're paying for all these things and you get nothing in return, especially if they're celibate. So my thing, I always looked at this stuff as assets and liabilities. I didn't open up my wallet. She didn't necessarily like that, but that's just how I operate. But that means I had an abundance mindset because I knew that regardless if she chose not to give it to me and she didn't want to mess with me right then and there because she wasn't trying to have sex and I wasn't trying to do dates, I knew I still had the ability to get sex. That's just what it was. I had that ability because, of course, I had the gift of gab and I'm attractive and
Well,
the way I operated.
I want to congratulate you on being newly married because that's what it is. I mean, the majority of marriages that failed in the first 5 years. So hopefully we have a long-standing run with our, here goes the teaser, everybody. Delonte and I have decided to come together.
What's good, D?
And help a lot of people out in these relationships. Dallas-Fort Worth,
oh yeah,
a lot of beautiful women, a lot of damage out there. It's a lot of damage out there that's already happened and it's still happening. Damaged people, so we want to come together. My show, You're a Mess. My man Delonte's show, he got his show. He's coming out with it on brand new on New Year's. After New Year's, he's gonna put the video out there on YouTube channel.
January 5th. January 5th.
So we are going to come together, have a show called Husband Ready. We're gonna get some of you women out here husband ready. Definitely gonna do some matchmaking. We're gonna get some people in the studios. We're gonna split screen y'all. We're gonna match make. We're gonna get y'all husband ready. So ladies, there's a ton of y'all out there. It's really competitive for y'all because you outnumber us. If you want that good man, don't go after somebody else's because you probably ain't husband ready if you trying to chase somebody else's husband or they boyfriend. Husband ready.
It's not easy. Let me say this. Marriage is hard.
Right. Chasing somebody else's man, you're a mess. Get your own.
Yeah.
There's enough of them out here. I don't care if you have to import them, export them, get your own. All right. So look, I'm gonna be on the mess side. My man Delonte, as a married, happily married, newly married, but still happily married man, he's gonna give y'all what y'all need to hear on that.
That's why I say who knew. You can't say who knew.
Yeah, just a little. He gonna be like the married version of Kevin Samuels. He gonna really let y'all know how to like get y'all together. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Mr. Samuels out there doing his thing. Husband Ready is gonna be for y'all. It's gonna be y'all platform, ladies, to come and really share your dating souls, so we can get you husband ready, man. Matchmaking somebody for y'all. Get y'all set up, man. 2022 could be a year of some great relationships if you recognize your mess.
Yeah.
If you let my man Monte tell you, as a man that proposed, happily married, if you let him make you. I'm gonna tell you to point the thumb. Take some good advice from happily married about what you aren't doing to get yourself together. Listen to the brother, because I went on my show just yesterday and called you all dogs. Oh yes, I did. I said all women are dogs. I said, all women are dogs because y'all know how stupid we are. Y'all know concerning love and relationships, y'all know men are stupid. Y'all know this. Y'all found this out in elementary school. And y'all act against us. Y'all have made an act against us to dog us. You have. Y'all changed the game. Steve Harvey didn't do nothing but just add fuel to the fire. Y'all had already decided to dog us. Y'all did. Y'all think y'all slick.
That's not me.
I was born in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? So y'all not getting that off on me. I'm not in the games. It's going on pretty much. Hey, look, I'm not playing the games. I'm going to be on Husband Ready. And if you're a mess, I'm going to call you out. And when I call you out, I'm going to kick man Delonte and let him do his thing because he's a smooth brother.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna try to stick to facts, man. And I use a lot of statistics to back up what I say. So you can't say who knew when I'm telling you the truth. So I'm gonna get to the topic, and I'm gonna always, tell you what's going on and how you should operate. I look at probabilities instead of possibilities. What's the probability that you're going to get the man of your dreams versus what's the possibility that you're going to get the man of your dreams? You got to live in probabilities. A lot of men already live in reality and have to live in probabilities. A lot of women, they have the privilege of living in fairy tales because typically men come to them. So you can live in that fairy tale, but what I'm trying to teach is how to retain the guy. So certain qualities that you have to meet to retain them. I mean, the beauty's gonna get them there. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Man, like I said, it's only 10 to 20% of men out here having sex with majority of women. So the beauty's gonna get them there. It's just how you gonna add value after sex because that's what really matters. Like, even with
One
my
of our
my
first
wife, she added value afterwards. I can't say nothing. It's how do you add value? You need to get a chance to learn learn the guy. You have to learn the man that you want. That's just what it is.
we're
You're
gonna
gonna have to learn him.
we're, I think we're gonna debate on some hot topics out
Oh
here.
yeah, we
I'm just gonna
definitely are.
shoot this. I'm gonna shoot this teaser out here because my man says something important. That's why he's a good person to have on the show, right? Because he's like the Max Kellerman. He gonna try to shoot at Stephen A. He gonna try to bombard me with statistics and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And probabilities and whatnot. I'm gonna get in and tell you what it really is. And what it really is Delonte, using your probability equation, are women more likely to get the man of their dreams to marry them if they withhold sex or go ahead and just let it free? This just trust me to see what we're going
Um, I'm gonna be honest.
on
Either they
your
hold
probability
sex.
equation.
So if you hold sex or you give sex, the probability of the men of their dreams is typically less than 1%. That's just statistically speaking, according to the Census Bureau, based on majority of women when they if they put in their metrics in a statistical calculator, it's gonna be less than 1% them getting their men in their dreams. It's not a saying that they won't. The probability is that they're not gonna get it. Because it's just not that many men that meet the metrics of majority of women. It's just not that many men out here, especially as single. Let me state that single and not married. It's not that many men out there. It's only like a 1% chance based off the metrics. A lot of women don't find men economically attractive. But with saying that, there are a lot of there is currently right now roughly about 55% single and childless men out here that is in the middle class that's out here, um, but they're not necessarily socially calibrated. So it's gonna have to be work. Even with me, it was stuff that I had to work on when I met my wife, and stuff that she had to work on, which I'm gonna speak on in my first YouTube video. That's released in January 5th. It was stuff that we had to both work on before we got married, before we could even get engaged, that we had to go to, marriage counseling, stuff of that nature. But it's certain things that we had to work on because I wasn't necessarily economically attractive, and she didn't have the qualities that I need in a wife. Because it's he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. It's not he who finds a girlfriend or he who finds a woman. It's he who finds a wife. So that's typically you must be a wife before you are chosen for marriage. That's why a lot of these qualities aren't conducive for
Delonte is a
marriage.
Christian. I want you to know that I'm not. I'm a
I
Christian
am a
too, but
Christian
this is
man.
a non-denominational. This is a non-denominational program. We're not trying to push religious
Yeah.
beliefs on you. My man
Yeah,
is
no,
just
I'm just saying
expressing
this
his.
is my beliefs. This is
Everybody,
my beliefs. Like I said,
yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
Christian
yeah.
man.
I'm just a disclaimer out there. If you Muslim, if you Hindu, you Buddhist, you atheist, you can get
By the
on
way,
this
that
show.
says it
We're
says
not
that if you're
we're not gonna.
Jewish, if you believe
Yeah,
in the Quran,
hey,
it says that in both of those as well.
me, me personally, I think that I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think that husband ready, we can help some fellas out too to become what you call economically attractive. I don't know
Of
personally
course.
if I don't know personally if that's all the way me, like, or what that metric that means. Like, I'm taking care of myself, my own business. But if being economically attractive means take care of a woman and at least one child too, I don't know if
So let me let me
I'm attracted.
let me tell you what's economically attractive. Typically,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this is
yeah, yeah.
majority of
Tell us
women.
what that is.
I talk to women at different clubs and stuff like that. Economically attractive is typically roughly around $70,000 or more. They usually want $100,000 or more, but to them, settling is like $70,000 or more. A guy that's typically 6 foot or taller, at least attractive and put together to them. And that's typically what they would look for. And you gotta remember, majority of men are not there. Usually, they want a man that makes at least $100,000, because you gotta think about it. When a wife is looking for you, and when you're supposed to be ready for marriage, you have to take on. If you want to be able to dictate any type of terms, you have to take on the burden of being able to take care of her, yourself, and a child. Because marriage is typically for the children. So that's one of the things that you have to think about when you're taking on a marriage, and it's expensive. I mean, being married, uh, it is expensive, and you need a helpmeet, someone who helps you in the area that you're lacking.
Man, you shooting a lot of folks in the foot right now, boy. You shoot a lot of folks down with
I mean,
that
I
one.
ain't trying to shoot them in the foot. I'm just being real. I
$70,000.
mean, but I live this life. You got to
Yeah,
remember, I'm married and I live this life. So I'm trying to help
what I'm
men get peace.
saying, what about the Dollar General marriages? I'm saying, can they work too, bro? I'm saying, come on, bro. We talking to everybody.
Let me tell you this: 80% of divorces are filed by women, and majority of them is because of financial reasons. Let me start by saying that majority of them for the financial reasons, and
So
that's the
you're saying they're
reality.
dumping? I'm
You said what? I can't hear you. Hello? You still there?
no. I was trying to basically ask. Um, you good? We good?
Oh no, I couldn't hear you at first. I can hear you now. Yeah, we good.
Now. I mean, that's look. Those are heck of a statistics. But what I'm saying is that if we want to reach an audience of people who are in love, but neither of them, the male or the female, are at the $70,000 level, I'm saying, do we have something to advise them, like go ahead and
Oh
do it? Or
yeah.
you say,
So I'm advising the men. So the women, I'm not caring about as far as what type of money or that monetary value that they bring to the table. I'm advising the men, you need to level up and stop working at Dollar General. If you're gonna work at Dollar General, get a Dollar General job, and you need to go work at McDonald's. Then you turn in that $30,000 job that you make at Dollar General, and that $30,000 job that you make it at McDonald's, and turning that into $60,000. Now you're making $60,000, and you just push yourself up into middle class. Use that to turn that to investments, to invest that money, so you can stop working there and actually go work on your dream. So there's different ways. It's just you have to stop being lazy. That's just what it is. So you can make yourself economically attractive. It's not necessarily about the job that you're working, because that's the job that you're working right now. I'm very humble. I don't care if I meet somebody at McDonald's, Dollar General. I don't care what you could be, a dang janitor. I don't care what job that
well,
you have. Huh?
where'd you meet your wife at?
Church. So we met online.
And
Let me say this. Let me say this. We met online first because through my fitness. So when I first did my fitness journey, I dropped a whole bunch of weight. I just didn't like how I looked when I dropped all that weight, because I did a lot of cardio. So I didn't like how I looked. But she seen me online on day site, shot at me about the fitness. And I talked to her or whatever, and I chopped it up with her, and I tried to get her on a date. And she would not go on a date with me at all. She was always busy. She was always at church. She's Bible study, choir. Man, she was just doing everything. Everything was church. So it got to a point I was so irritated that she was. It was like always. I said, okay, let's have a date, church. So that was our kind of like our first date was church. And I went to church. She was singing and everything. We went and grabbed some food afterwards, and that's how we started off. That's how we started off, and we started talking from there. Now, just because
well,
we met at church don't means that I was perfect or she was perfect. We had a lot of stuff that was going on in our lives, a lot of stuff that we had to overcome to get where we're at right now. But the good thing about for me, That's why I said whatever religion that you follow, you have to have some form of foundation, or you have to have as a person, you have to stand on something. Um, it was a good foundation for me because it gave me guidance of purpose. So that was for me. It gave me guidance of purpose. I know a lot of people out here are purposeless. I know what my purpose is on this earth, and it gave me guidance of purpose. I can't hear you right now.
Shout out to Pretty Meech. Hey, how are you doing, young lady? I can't reach
Hey,
my
what's
phone
good?
because it's in the O-ring, the sky. But I'm
I'm
at the
glad.
Muad'Dib Global Studio. I'm still screening with my man Delante in his studio, man. We're getting geared up for the husband ready join program. We're going to come together. We're going to get some husbands. We're going to get some ladies ready for their husband, and definitely some men ready to be a husband. So this is going to be a big deal, man. I'm talking about this time next year, man. We're gonna probably clock, get 10, 20 marriages. Okay, look pretty much. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you have a question for Delante, he's happily married. He's been married about a year and a half. They dated for 3.5 years before they got married. He's a
Yeah,
married
she
guy. I'm
knows.
single. I'm super single. I'm small single. So you got both. You got both. You can ask us whatever you want. So you decide to hop in and listen. It's your show. So if you have a question for us, man, let us know. Is it a guy that you're dating? She said LOL. She cracked up.
You could
So
drop a
well, here's
question, Meech. You could
yeah
drop a
here's
question.
here's my thing right here. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like for me, I just because I used to be a mess and I'm not anymore. I'm coming out with the book. It's going to be called Freedom. There's freedom in rejection, right?
Hmm.
Because I don't want people wasting time over much or pining away,
Oh,
being fixated on the person and not the experience that the person is providing. So you use the word value, I'm going to use the word experience, right? Because I
okay.
want people to look at it like, what kind of experience is this person putting in my life? Because if they're rejecting me, then that's them saying, I'm not going to provide you the experience that you want. I have literally had women tease, quote unquote, tease me with a little something, not go all the way, because in their mind, that's going to be spin. And it's worked for them in the past. I'm pretty sure it has.
Hmm.
But for me, I'm like, if you want me to open my wallet up all the way, then how you gonna go half? With the nah. What it comes down to is I've put women on block, and
Blacklist.
some of them call from unknown numbers and get around that block, right? Because they have to know, because they're not used. Dante, they're not used to being blocked by a guy. Like they can't figure it
That's
out. Like
true.
this dude is crazy, but this is what it is. You got 2 times with Taibu Muad'Dib, the CEO of Heavenly Bodies, the founder of the Muad'Dib Global Holding Group, the conglomerate, right? You got 2 times to say you're going to do something and not do it, and I'm going to put you on block. Because when
Ah,
you
that's
call
tough.
when you call back, when you call my phone, because you play games, when you call my phone, it says the blocking mechanism has been activated. When you hear that, why does it seem like men prefer hoes over real women? Let me finish
Do
my
you want to
sound
answer
blocking.
that? I want to hear you answer that.
I'm gonna let you have first take it. That let me finish my
You want me
sound blocking because it's
to?
fun.
I don't want to gear you
I'm
towards
telling you,
me.
I love the fact that they're going to hear the black mechanism has been activated, because that's my healthy boundary. That's my healthy boundary. You know what I'm saying? They know that
Why does it
I'm
seem like
different,
men prefer hoes over,
man. Look,
over real
they
women?
know I'm different because I'm putting them on the block. But you can go ahead and take that, because I have something to say that
I
for the
got you.
audience, for Facebook, and for Twitch. The question from the panel on IG is, why does it seem, this is a woman, why does it seem like men prefer hoes over real women? A woman can literally be total package and still not be good enough. Take it away,
Oh, I
Delonte.
could
Let's hear what
tell
you got
you
to say
that.
first.
That's easy. So men like sex. That's just what it is. It don't have anything to do with being a total package or anything of that nature. Men like
Married
variety.
or not, he's still
Men like
around.
variety. So knowing that men like variety and like sex, um, men don't look at sex the same way women look at it. Um, men look at sex like if I were to have sex with somebody else, to a man it's like taking a piss. To a woman it's not the same, and there's a biological reason for that. Women have something that's in their body called oxytocin. I think you probably know what that is. It's one of those things when you have sex with a man, and it's a chemical that's inside you that's released when you have sex or he touches your nipples or whatever that makes you bond to that man. It's a chemical thing that happens with women. So they have that's inside them that makes them bond to typically the men that they have sex with. And that's when women start, adding value and doing more stuff for that man. Men have low levels, majority of men, not all, majority of men have low levels of oxytocin. So that that bonding experience is not like that. And there's a reason for that because men typically were used to propagate a society. So we were used to be able to create a lot of children within a year. So women only could bring one kid per term, but men could propagate a whole society within a term. That's just the way God designed us. Men weren't necessarily designed for monogamy, but since we are in the West now, and we have created this world that have liberated women. Now women typically want men to operate the way that they operate. That's not that's not what it is. So my answer is typically men like a variety of women. Now, if you add enough value that typically can't replace you, he he typically may exercise his options like me. I haven't stepped out on my wife since we've been married. I have the ability to exercise my options, but I stay too busy to be able to do so. That's just the reality. I tell people, even my wife, we had this type of conversation. The reason why I'm not sleeping around has nothing to do with being married. It's really I want to make sure that I'm too busy. I'm not wealthy. I don't have that type of value. I need to stay busy to the point that I don't have time to sleep around. I don't have time to sleep around. Working two jobs, I got kids. I'm building this YouTube platform. I'm investing. I'm constantly going to be building my value, and she's constantly going to be helping me out. I don't have time. Women have definitely approached me all the time. I just don't have time. That's just what it is, and I keep myself busy. That's just what it
Hey, yeah,
is. So
how,
that's my views on it. I believe that majority of men, if they had the money, the time, and the clout, they would exercise their options. That's just what it is. Anybody who's saying that they not
you know,
trying to have sex with multiple women, they're lying. That's just what it is. And this is coming from a married man. I'll let you take it away from now, Taibu.
nah, I was gonna ask if my audio is better now that I have my microphone on.
Yeah, I can hear you. Is my audio good? Because I've been using my Bluetooth.
Yeah, yeah, you've been good. I went ahead and put
Okay.
my microphone on. So, so pretty, so pretty meets.
Oh, thank you. You appreciate my response.
Yeah.
I'll let
So,
Taibu. Let's see. Let's see.
so this is the reason why I have my show. You're a mess. Because thank you very much. I'm glad audio's good. This is why I have a show called You're a Mess. Because I challenge people to do what I had to do to get out my mess, which is point the thumb. So your was a finger pointing question. And so that gives me a red flag that you're probably a mess, pretty much. And you don't let the world around you let you're messy. So if you say that you hack it and it still not be good enough for him, my man is saying about men physiologically, but I'm gonna tell you something. And this is from a person in a committed relationship with someone I'm attracted to and someone that fulfills me. I'm gonna tell you right now, stop the finger pointing mentality about men and start pointing the thumb at yourself. Because if you're a husband ready, he's gonna kick the door in. He's gonna kick the door in. He's gonna carry you up and sweep you off your feet. I'm telling you, a woman that's husband ready gives this aroma off, and all the guys in her vicinity, all the guys that see her have fun online, whatever she's doing to make herself known to men, I'm telling you, they're gonna flock at her, right? I'm gonna make something up for you, Pretty Meech. It's the Beyonce rule, right? It's the Beyonce thing for me. Beyonce, why do men focus on her? Why do men focus on her? Because of the image she